Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via, currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery. Currently being housed at Keene Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia in the USA. Welcome to my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. If you have any questions or comments or want to leave a message or whatever, I've got a voicemail line. That number is 1-888 524-1932. For anyone outside the continental U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1 and you're good to go. You can also visit my website, which is new and improved and got different features and whatnot, at www.redonionrandy.com. We also have some merch up there. So far, it's just a hoodie and a T-shirt with my logo and everything. You can find that link on my website. I hope you support me. You can also find me on X at Red Onion Randy. I hope you do. Let's get started with the podcast. Today's episode is going to be a listener's response. Of course, I was asked not to reveal the lady's name or the guy's name, so I won't do that, and I won't even reveal the state that they're from. Now, the lady in question, just to give a little bit of background of what they're dealing with, the lady in question comes from a European country, and when she was sent over here back in the day when she was 16, and she was in New York City at the time, and she'd met a guy, and they started to date a little bit, things blossomed a little bit, and until the guy found out that she was underage, and then he immediately broke things off with her. She wasn't too happy about that, but it is what it is, and not long afterwards, she had to get, she got sent back to the country that she came from. I apologize if you hear a little bit of coughing or whatnot. I'm a little sick at the moment, so mea culpa. So when she got back, she actually wrote him some letters, and this guy had actually wrote her some letters, but they never got the letters. For whatever reason, I don't know. They didn't know, and she didn't tell me in the email. Now, things went on. They went about their life. This guy, he's from the streets, and he wound up getting locked up, doing some time and everything. And she left on through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and she was able to go to college in Canada, which is where she currently lives now. She has 2 young children, and years had gone by, and one of her friends was in a relationship with someone in prison. And she was like, look, we know this guy who would be absolutely hands down perfect for you. Let me introduce you. And, after, giving this some thought, the lady was like, okay, she's never written a prisoner before. She'd never thought about it or anything of that nature. Now, she decides to do it, and lo and behold, This is the same guy that she had met when she come to the U.S. back when she was 16 and everything. It's the exact same guy. And this guy had been in and out of trouble and everything, but around this time, he started turning over a new leaf. He started seeing that, that lifestyle wasn't conducive to the life he wants to live. So he got out of the gangs and everything. He went to school, through the grants that, his state provides. If I remember correctly, I think he got his paralegal license. He does a lot of law stuff to help people and everything in his state. He's got some guys out of prison. He's, got some time reductions and some other things. And he's gotten in trouble for that. And he's, been moved out of state a couple of times and brought back and forth and so on and so forth. But, their relationship blossomed. Now, she has two young children, from a previous relationship before they started writing each other and everything. And, he was living in a place that was close enough for her and them to visit. And she wound up taking her kids to visit and everything. I don't think she took them on the very first couple of visits. It was just them two. And then, as things progressed and whatnot, they started to talk on the phone a little bit, and then the kids came to the visits. And, the kids absolutely love this guy. He's been a positive influence in their life. He's been a father figure to them when they don't have one, and, like, the guy's different. Like, he's, from everything she's told me in the email, and there's some things I can't say simply because, it could possibly reveal his identity and whatnot. But I can tell you right now from someone who's done 33 years in prison, a man who does these things and he gets these accomplishments, he's not the same guy he used to be. Like he's grown up, he's matured, and he's doing what he's supposed to do as a man. And he'd asked her to marry him. And that's the thing, she's not sure if that's something that, she wants to marry him. It's not that. It's just she doesn't know, how is that going to affect her life? How is it going to affect her kid's life? Because right now, they've moved him to another state. It's just so far away that they can no longer, afford to pay for the visitation trips because it's expensive. Like, I have my buddy Cartoon. He's got a friend that lives in Northern Virginia, and she comes down to visit him every now and then. And it costs over $200 just in gas and some food and just getting a hotel room overnight. So you're not just, you've been on the road 7 hours in the morning, walk straight into the visitation room. Like, it's just, you got to get a hotel room at the same time. So like this is well over $200 for her to do it. It would be well over $3,000 from her having to travel from where she lives and works and her kids' lives are to come down to see this guy, and that's just one visitation. So there's all of these questions and everything she has, and she asked me about. So I'm going to do my best. At the end of the day, the heart wants what the heart wants. That doesn't mean that you just give into it without a single fault whatsoever, because that's what gets people in trouble. There's a reason why the divorce rate around the world, especially in the industrial world, is so freaking high. It's because people, oh, well, my heart wants this, and they just jump into it without any thought or anything. You've put a lot of thought into this. Yours was a very, very long email. And, you discussed a lot of topics that I haven't even thought of myself. I didn't even know to think of these questions. So I thank you for giving me that insight, because it has opened my eyes to some more things in my own relationship with my wife. You know, but I have to say, like, you two sound absolutely perfect for one another. You know, it sounds like this guy, he genuinely makes you happy. You know, for you, it's, you make life worth living for him, and he makes life worth living for you. You know, and it doesn't matter that you're white. It doesn't matter that he's black. And screw all that. You know, I'm white. My wife is black. You know, and if somebody's got a problem with it, you. I'm not going to live my life according to what you think is right or wrong. I'm going to live my life according to what the Bible thinks is right or wrong. I don't even live my life according to what I think is right or wrong. You know, so don't, you know, if somebody wants to judge you for who you love, then just cut them off and go on with your life. You know, they're not real friends if they can't support you. You know, now that doesn't mean that, you know, a friend shouldn't give you good advice, but it doesn't mean, you know, that you get the right to tell someone, yeah, you're not allowed to be in a relationship with this person simply because of their skin color. This dude sounds like he's an upstanding man, and if I was in the prison system with him, like we was in the pod together, like me and this dude would be hanging. You know, because I want to be around positive people at the end of the day. I want to be around people that they can overcome their circumstances. They can overcome their past. They don't let that stuff chain them and enslave them. You know, and this guy has certainly done those things from everything you've told me that he's done. Now, I encourage you to marry him, and just keep working and getting him out. You know, go online, try to garner some support. You know, do whatever it takes to be with this guy. You know, because at the end of the day, nothing on this earth is more important than family. You know, it's not money. It's not material things. It's not somebody's good opinion of you. It's family. It's having that person you can love. It's having that person you can talk to. It's having that person who can be there for you when you're struggling, who you can be there for when he's struggling. Your kids love him. You know, as a matter of fact, I believe you used the word they absolutely adore him. And it's reciprocated. Go for it, because you only get one life. That's what I try to teach people in here. You know, it's as a matter of fact, literally last night, I'm not going to use names, but last night a guy that I was with at Wallace Ridge just came into the pod last night. And he had a dude that was his friend. Like, they were really, really tight while we was up there. And some other dudes from another state, you know, a couple of dudes from other states came to Virginia. And the states where they come from, it's segregated. The blacks stick with the blacks, the Spanish stick with the Spanish, the whites stick with the whites, and that's the way it is. But that's not the way it is here in Virginia. So when they came, they told this dude, like, yo, bro, what you doing, man? You can't talk to that black dude. You can't talk to that white dude right there, man. You got to stick with your own kind. You know, and at the end of the day, all they really wanted was his job, because him and my little brother, Boss Life, were the only ones coming out to work. Because in Virginia, the COs, it doesn't matter if you have a job or not. They don't care about that. Just collect your paycheck and sit on your ass and stay out of her way. They work the people they know are going to work, people that they don't have to concern themselves with or be, you know, they're not a security risk. You know, they've known these people long enough to know how they move, what they do, what they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do, so on and so forth. That's what it really boiled down to. But these other dudes got into his friend's ear, and because he talked to a black dude, because he talked to a white dude, his friend wound up stabbing him in the back, literally stabbed him multiple times in his back. And that's how he wound up getting his transfer here. He went to medical, done all that stuff, and then they brought him here, just so he doesn't retaliate and so on and so forth, because at the end of the day, he's a gang member too. But that's the thing, like, these guys came from another state and tried to force their beliefs, tried to force the way they want to do things on people here. And, like, that's not going to happen. And he didn't stand for it, and he wound up getting stabbed in the back. Sometimes you got to take that stand. Sometimes you got to take that risk. And that's my advice to you. Take that risk. Screw what somebody else tells you should be doing. They don't know you. At the end of the day, they don't know who you truly, genuinely are. And it sounds like this guy, he does. So give love a chance. Marry this guy and make the sacrifices, it takes to be with him. You might not be able to move to this, to this country immediately. You might not be able to move to the state he is, and it's hard to say what happens, because he might wind up getting transferred out of his state again. And you said the reason why his state does give him a lot of problems because he helps a lot of guys, not just file lawsuits, but actually win lawsuits against, his state. Tell him to keep doing that. Tell him to stand strong, to fight the good fight. But also tell him to be smart and to pick his battles. You don't need to file a lawsuit on every single little thing. File the lawsuits on the things that are important. If there's clear medical negligence, help the guy write it up and file a lawsuit on that. But if the CO was mean to him, you don't need to write that up. Tell the dude to suck it up and be a man. Like, so what? The dude screamed at you. Who gives a man? You don't like that. And that's a big problem in the state that I'm in here in Virginia. You got guys it's the opposite. They write up the stuff that they shouldn't be writing up. They push the issues on the stuff they shouldn't be pushing. And the issues that they should, like the food, like the chow halls being cleaned, actually receiving proper medical treatment. Hell, I've got a form of bone cancer, and the tumor still hasn't been properly biopsied yet. And I've been dealing with this since 2017, but, like, the guys won't push paperwork on that. They won't file a lawsuit on stuff like that. But, let the CO be, a couple minutes late and open the doors for pod wreck, and they go slam the off over that. Like right now, we just had this huge hurricane, Helene, and, like, it's wiped out entire towns in this region. Like, you've got COs up here that literally, they not just lost their homes, the land their homes was on got washed away in mudslides and all this other stuff. Like, they've got lost family members. And they're sitting there bitching about ESPN is out. Like, man, these people don't give a fuck about ESPN right now. Like, they're mourning the death of loved ones. So, like, tell this dude to be careful and what issues he decides to push. And that, by doing that, a lot of the heat that the administration is giving him will alleviate itself, because they'll realize, okay, this guy, he's not just filing lawsuits to be a lawsuit, just to be a jailhouse lawyer type of blah, 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 whatever. He's picking and choosing his battles. And when they see a person who picks and chooses their battles, they tend to stay away from that person and leave him alone. I'm one of those guys now. And it took me a very, very, very long time to realize that. I no longer just push issues because I can. I only push the issues that are worth pushing. And
You have 1 minute remaining.
And I only push the issues that I know I'm going to win. I don't waste my time picking fights I cannot win. Tell him to learn that art, and things will ease up on him. But this is all the time I got. I hope I helped you. I encourage you to give it all you got to make things work with this guy, because it seems like he's doing everything in his power to make it work with you.
I appreciate you folks listening to me. Remember, if you want to leave some feedback on the show or, ask a question or whatnot, again, that number inside the continental U.S. is 1-888-524-1932. Anyone outside the U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1. Works just the same. You can also visit me my website at redonionrandy.com or find me on X at redonionrandy. You don't have to, but if you want to, wherever you listen to my podcast, go on and give me some stars, or whatever is appropriate for that platform. I'll take whatever you can give me and be damn grateful for it. But, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow the podcast. I'm trying to reach more people. I'm trying to get my voice out there to help people. The crazy thing is I actually am helping people. And in the process, I'm helping myself. So do what you can. And don't forget, I got sweatshirts, T-shirts, and maybe some other merch coming soon. You can find the link on the website, redonionrandy.com. And y'all take care and stay safe out there. Hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you for using GTL.